Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily pitching preview show that we do with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now we're going to look at the card for Sunday, June 14th. I'm only going to ask you about a few, but some very interesting situations on this card. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks for being back with us.
Well, I thank you, sir.
All right. Anyone who wants Joe Duffy's daily picks, they can be found at OffshoreInsiders.com. And Joe Duffy, just tell everyone, remind us how you've been doing in baseball this year and in your entire career.
Extremely well. You know, anybody who wants someone who has won for years and literally decades, it's a no-brainer. If you want to jump on someone who's hot, certainly as we file this report, some of these we do a couple days in advance, but as I record this, red hot, 7 out of the last 9 winning days overall, and I think it's like 15 of 21 in Major League Baseball, but a bunch of the losing days worth, I think at least 3 of the losing days were just the juice. So we're winning long-term, short-term, and very, very long-term at OffshoreInsiders.com.
And anyone who's looking to jump on someone who's hot, they're going to be jumping on Chris Sale, right? This guy's coming on really strong right now. I mean, he's not just pitching well. He's putting up Chris Archer-type numbers over his last 3 games. 39 strikeouts and 3 walks in 23 innings. The question is just, does it continue here? Tampa Bay, not a terribly formidable offense. Sale is off of 119 pitches in his last start. Do we expect a continuation of this awesome performance from Sale?
Oh, Sale's certainly proven to be a stud. He's one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, so what he's done lately is more indicative than what he did at early in the year. And yeah, he's fanned 67 over 46 and 2/3 innings, allowed just 7 earned runs. Now remember, I've said many times that strikeouts can be overrated. I like strikeouts when they're corroborating evidence where he's been true. It shows how much a guy has truly dominated. He's not giving up earned runs. He is a proven star. Yeah, he's 100% legit, and he's tough to not want to go with. But of course, you know, it comes down to the question of value.
Okay, and then a tough one, an interesting matchup. We'll see what you have to say about this one. Scherzer against Jungmann, Nazi versus Nazi, right? Jungmann, an interesting guy. He was a first-round pick, but he struggled in the minors, so that wasn't a good sign. But then he came up the majors, has an excellent first start at Pittsburgh, and then Scherzer, we know what he is, but his last 2 starts have actually been subpar. He gave up 4 runs in each of them, 3 home runs in those 2 games. The question is, who has the pitching edge here, Scherzer or Jungmann?
Make sure you send your letters to Peter Loshak.
Yeah, that's right.
But Scherzer has done very well against Milwaukee in his career. He's got a 2.77 ERA against them. But of course, now that he hasn't actually pitched against them since 2009, because of course Milwaukee used to be an American League team and Scherzer used to be in the American League. So it's just to confuse us a little bit further, but I do think that Washington in the battle of whatever he said probably has the slight advantage here.
So you're not concerned with the subpar starts that Scherzer has had recently. Do you think that's just a bit of a blip and aberration and that he's likely to come back strong?
Oh, I do think that they have the advantage, but again about that, Washington is a team that, much like Boston, Washington's really a team that I've looked to fade a few times this year. So when we come to the team matchups, I think Washington's a little bit overvalued.
Okay, and then Chris Heston, right? Very impressive. No-hitter against the Mets in his last start. And, recreational bettors love to toss around the idea that you want to fade a guy off a no-hitter. And in general, that is something that I generally look to do. But in this situation, I'm not exactly sure. He's going to be at home facing Arizona, not a very formidable lineup. On the other side, Robbie De La Rosa, who can be good once in a while, but, usually gives up 4 runs, sometimes gets crushed. I'm thinking that maybe we might not want to fade Heston here. Maybe want to bet on him and then maybe a bet against him maybe in his start after this one.
As a general rule of thumb, I'm going to agree with that theory that when you have a guy who's coming off of a no-hitter or the rare case where they're coming off a perfect game, especially if you're talking about, and Heston's a good pitcher, but he's not an absolute stud pitcher. So you're talking about a solid pitcher coming off of a great game. A letdown is a probability there. So I really think a situational play would have me strongly leaning towards going against Heston. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, is he facing a formidable opponent on the hill or Arizona on the road? Not necessarily, but if anything, I do think that Heston's in a good position to have a letdown.
Really, you think so? I mean, it's just that Arizona is not the kind of offense that can push a guy. And then on the other side, De La Rosa is looking very, very shaky.
Yeah, he's gotten pounded. He's got an ERA of 12 over his last 3 starts, but since we're expecting, Heston to maybe have a letdown, how about a high-scoring game, Mr. Loshak?
And then Sonny Gray, he continues to be excellent and consistent. Here he's going to be at the Angels, who actually have picked it up offensively recently, but Gray is just looking like just a very reliable guy on the mound. Then the other side, Shoemaker's not been too bad, a lot less reliable and a lot less consistent, though, than Gray. Still, he was generally pretty good in 4 out of his last 5 starts. What's your take on this pitching matchup?
It's almost, I guess, when we're talking about Sonny Gray, I almost say the same thing each and every time. There's no question the guy's a spectacular pitcher, but Oakland is a team that doesn't give all that much run support. And as I said, ever since they made their trades late last year, where they really went all in on pitching, Oakland's kind of been a bit of a fade. Of course, anytime you got Sonny Gray on the hill, you are going to have a pitching advantage, and that is the case here. But as you said, Shoemaker's pitched pretty well. He's got, very well as of late, 1.45 ERA. in his last 3. So, maybe again the under. But, Sonny Gray, they just don't give him a ton of run support. It's the big problem.
All right, that's it from Sunday, June 14th that I wanted to make sure we got to. Joe Duffy's website, again, offshoreinsiders.com. Joe Duffy, is there anything else you think might indicate possible betting value this coming Sunday?
Well, A.J. Burnett has been tremendous. He just keeps going along. 1.60 ERA, a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in his last 33 2/3 innings. Talked about Sonny Gray. He's kind of battling Cole Hamels for the poster child of a heck of a pitcher on a so-so team. But, Burnett's going against Cole Hamels. This might be one of those games where it's going to be a low total, but can they actually make it low enough?
Offshoreinsiders.com is Joe Duffy's website. Thanks so much.